Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this production brought to you by the great Kezu and the not so great Suns fan. This is Dream League Season 13, Group Stage C, the lower bracket finals, I guess you could call it, this GSL format between Alliance and Reality Rift. It's a best of three, like I said. Winner goes to the upper bracket of the main event. Loser goes to the lower bracket best of one. Kezu, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm very hyped for this great production that we're gonna bring to the people here.
That's right. I spent a lot of time on the overlays with our faces. Way too
Yeah, I
much
had a
time.
look at it earlier. It looks great.
And then last night, yesterday, I looked at some of the other streams, and I could not believe how bad my production
They
is
are.
compared to theirs.
Oh, how bad yours is? Damn
Yeah,
it.
I looked at theirs like, wow, that actually looks really good. And I looked at our own like, it's like some 8-year-old child made this.
Wow, that's
Goodness
a real
gracious.
overlay.
That's real production. Excellent.
My God.
So we have the Omni, TA, Slark, IO band to start. Treant Protector is probably going to be hotly contested, especially for Alliance.
Yep.
Fata loves that hero.
Radiant team ban.
But will they give it away? How much do they love it?
That's a good question. Also, one thing to note is that there's a TA ban, there's an Omni ban. I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with Alliance right now. I am not aware if they've been banning Omni against other teams. But as we've been saying in most of the games, Reality Rift, they have one of the saving offlaners in, well, they had Centaur one game, but Omni, Abba, Legion have been picked in the majority of their games. And then kind of cores that, suit well with that type of timing that use this buff pretty well. So TA is one of them. And as they showcased last game, their TA was pretty good. So
Yes.
I don't disagree with their bans at all at the moment.
Yeah, I think that was very, very well played from Reality Rift's side. I mean, it's hard to say one player is the reason that they did so well because they all just work together and,
Yeah.
It's a team dynamic, but he had a very, very good TA game. Yeah, I think the Treant Protector is probably what they're thinking about here if they are willing to give it away. I believe Fata, the first day where they had a lot of success, 2-0, he picked Treant and had high success with it. They're going to ban the Rubik. And the last series, they did not find success with Venomancer. So it will be Treant given away for Reality Rift. And we'll see what Alliance actually counters with. We've seen the Slark ban out, so we won't be seeing an early pick on that regard.
I'm currently thinking what Alliance used a lot of time on their last ban, so I'm just thinking of what trades they're thinking about. Usually, if you expect a specific pick from the first pick team, you may want to go a specific core, like let's say Slark on 8-9 here if you're Alliance, and then you would want to ban for the Slark. Of course, in this game this wouldn't work as Slark is banned out, but I'm just thinking about this Rubik ban. Do they want to do some Venomancer opening or? Alright, so I think the Rubik ban is just because the guy played it well, or at least it looked like it, because these two heroes don't really tell me, like the Rubik ban isn't really tailored towards their first two heroes in that sense.
I guess, so all three of those were in the last game, right? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's one of those strategies again.
Hey, it worked last time. I mean, it shut down Reality Rift hardcore. They couldn't do anything against IG.
Yeah.
So it will be a Lich Tiny. This is going to be the first Tiny game I think we've seen in this group stage, and it was very hotly contested in the minor, and haven't really seen many bans of it. I mean, occasionally, but not like every time. It's not a consistent thing either way.
Yeah, I personally am a big fan of this tiny hero. He fell off very hard as a core hero with some recent nerfs. I think 2 or 3 times maybe he's been nerfed on tree grab, I think, or maybe his base move speed. Not fully sure. Lich, like we've talked about in so many games, he just seems to be like the most contested position 5 hero alongside with Disruptor, I guess, and Treant. And so I think their opening is pretty solid. As Tiny, he can be flexible. But I do think that most people prefer the hero as a 4 position right now.
Yeah, I've been seeing that as well. I don't know if you are gonna hate me for saying this, but I kind of like the Mask of Madness Tiny, and I'm gonna miss it a little bit.
I mean,
but you're exactly right.
I won't speak against it. I think Mom Tiny is fine. I think it allows you to farm pretty well. But I think honestly, I haven't. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's just more that Mask of Madness Tiny. Like Tiny's been a hero for so long now, right? I've been playing for like 15 plus years,
Team
and it's just always the same build. It's always the same type of playstyle. It's you jump in with Blink Dagger and blow people up. This actually provided. I mean, then there was that IO tiny stage, I suppose, but this just felt different. You know, just finally a new build on this hero.
Mom kind of seemed or looked like the best item recently when I saw it. I mean, at least when you play it as a core, because you have permanent tree. Also, the silence isn't as long as it used to be, I think. So, like, you can use your spells, you can use Mom, and when Mom is over, you have, like, your next toss again or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just think that core tiny is kind of out of, like, it's kind of out. It's not the flavor of the month anymore. People have moved on from what I see.
The nerfs have definitely hurt. Like you said, if I'm remembering correctly, it was the tree grab was nerfed in itself, and then the move speed from the tree grab was also nerfed. I think he lost like 10 move speed on top of the 20 that he had before. So I think you lose like 30 move speed now, which is pretty significant.
Yeah, and my god, it is so boring to play slow heroes in Dota.
Yeah. But it makes sense, especially from, I mean, it as a support, if you don't have tree grab utilized, then you get the extra move speed and that allows you to use toss proficiently, right? So it makes sense. But I mean, I think the tossing early makes it pretty exciting, at least for a support hero. So I don't mind it.
No, I think Tiny is a pretty cool hero in itself, especially how people are utilizing toss nowadays.
But Reality Rift did counter this with a Centaur, so have a couple of beefy boys so far in their lineup. They're going to ban the Treant Protector, or sorry, the Timbersaw, who counters the Treant Protector because he's made of trees, of course. And Morphling and Meepo is banned by Alliance. They saw that last series and were like, okay, let's just take this out of the pool just in case.
Yeah.
These cheesy heroes. Of course, Arc Warden is still there. I want to say both teams have played it. Or maybe, was it Alliance that played it in the last series? I'm not sure.
I don't think Alliance have played it. I think from my understanding, I don't think Limp plays Arc Warden.
Okay.
Seems like too passive of a hero, kind of.
So it was 2 games by Reality Rift played Arc Warden then.
They're taking very long time. They're already kind of low on reserve time. I wonder if they think about some Drow ban. Okay, Naga Siren. Interesting.
Well, definitely an annoying hero. Didn't really see much success for VP, but that was for many different reasons.
Naga is pretty decent against their 2 current supports as well. Let's just pretend they're supports because of the wave clear.
Yes.
And I assume they have a sort of idea about their next picks that don't have the best wave clear. But this next pick, I like it quite a lot.
I love this hero. This hero feels so good. Never has Lifestealer felt this good in his history, in my opinion.
Unless right after this whole new patch came out and you could just infest people. Did you play or watch Dota then?
Yeah, like I played Sven with the Ags when he was broken with Lifestealer inside of me. That was a thing we spammed.
Very cool. So an abuser, I see.
Yeah, an abuser for sure. Hey, when I see an opportunity to actually use Sven and Lifestealer, why not? But I mean, Lifestealer has just been this hero that he's been super one-dimensional and like kind of the same build, other than this like brief period where he was that support mess that you were just talking about. But I mean, we're Han boys from back in the day. Predator just always felt better than this hero, right? He had the actual leap. That hero felt really good. But now this new Lifestealer,
he had magic immunity, leap, a slow.
Yeah, he was amazing. But now Lifestealer is actually starting to feel like a more unique hero that you can do more than one thing with. Very cool. All right, Skywrath Mage will be the next pick for Reality Rift.
Okay, Skywrath, yeah. I can dig this pick. Lifestealer does not enjoy silences at all. Like insta stuns or silences is hard to play with, just because I mean, sure, you have magic immunity if you use it before, but you don't enjoy buying items such as Manta on the hero at all, or like dispel items. It's not really in your item build whatsoever. At least you don't want to include it. Hero that purges would be really good here for Alliance. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think this makes sense against nearly every hero in Reality Rift. And like I stated in one of the games earlier, when you have these heroes that are already like a bit hard to kill, you know, these Slarks and Nakes and Morph, like you try to go on them, you do get the silence off, but then the purge comes out and the whole fight can kind of get turned around. Suddenly he can use rage. So I think the Legion pick is very solid here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hero to infest bomb as well, depending on the build from Legion, because you give the extra move speed and the extra little pop for that duel. So that's definitely really nice. So they just need a mid hero for Alliance, and Reality Rift still has a couple of heroes to go. But Looking at Reality Rift's lineup so far, what do you think they're lacking right now that they can make up for right now?
They're most likely going to want a hero that can perhaps hit buildings. They're either going to look for that out of their mid and safe lane hero. I don't know if these guys play Magnus, but I think Mag is pretty good here. I like AoE heroes when I play against Legion, because usually when Legion goes in, she kind of baits her team to come in. Well, that works too. I guess it's like a different type of AoE.
Yeah, I was
Void,
actually
he
thinking
has
this hero as
great
well, because
lockdown.
not only do you have the Skywrath, I mean, it's kind of weird with Overgrowth. It's like a double bubble, kind of, right? And then you have the Stampede for after or even before the Chronosphere, and Skywrath Mage will have the magic damage. But Void against Lifestealer is pretty good.
Yeah,
like game,
Sky also has great purpose in this game. He can actually, so far, he can kill with every hero. At least with Treant, he can kill the supports if they find people alone. He has Centaur stun to set up for him, and he has Void. So I think this Void pick is very solid. Also, Time Dilation is pretty good against Lich, Tiny, and Lifestealer. I think that's one of the more underrated aspects of the hero that people aren't talking about. I don't know if you've seen it, but they reworked Time Dilation again how it used to be when it first came out.
Yeah.
If you apply Time Dilation to them now, and they haven't used the spell yet, but they end up using it, the cooldown will still, get a lot higher once they've used it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's. I don't think retroactive is the right word for it. It's like a precursor that you apply.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about the timing as much.
Exactly. Like the last 2 years, it only worked on the spells that are already on cooldown.
Right.
So I think a lot of people don't actually know this. So it's definitely very strong.
And it works a little differently in terms of how it affects the cooldown, right? Before it would just add a certain amount of time, but now it actually cools down slower. So it's a little bit more deceptive when you're time dilated. You actually don't know how much time you have because it says 13 seconds still, but it's actually going slower, So it's a little bit weird.
So I was thinking that they could still pick Mag here, but with a Brood ban, I feel like they might pick a hero middle that doesn't deal well with the hero. Because Mag against Brood is kind of a free game, so this just tells me that Mag is not the hero they're looking at. Someone that allows them to force an objective or take fights around towers or Roshan would be really good. I could see a hero such as perhaps Death Prophet. TA is banned, of course. I'm not quite sure what else they've been playing in their mid pool. Shadow Fiend.
Oh, Invoker. Ooh, yeah.
That is an interesting hero. I have not seen many Invokers lately at all.
Yeah. Is there any way this position 4 in Skywrath's mid? Any chance?
Potentially based off of Alliance's last pick. I think the chance is low, but the potential is there.
I mean, if he goes, would you go Quas Exhort? I mean, you have the Chronosphere, so you have a lot of setup for Meteor and all that AoE nonsense.
I think you probably also base it off of like this last pick on Alliance. Like if it makes you lose the lane super hard by going Quas Vex, then I don't think you can afford to do it. But currently, both Quas Vex and Quas Exort have pretty big pros and cons. Like the mana burn is super annoying for these Alliance heroes. But then again, you have a lot of setup for Sunstrike.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, even the duel from the other team allows you to Sunstrike LC. As Batrider's going to be playing. Okay. I mean, there's no dispel coming from Reality.
That's a mid Batrider.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty dirty, actually.
Damn, I don't know how open they are to lane swapping, but I feel like Void should perhaps go mid lane. It's just that side lane Invoker is a little scary, especially against a roaming Tiny. But I feel like if you compare his side lane to his mid lane, I feel like his mid lane is more scary. It's Invoker against Batrider, and first of all, Invoker is a super slow hero. His turn rate is horrible, and there's a roaming Tiny in the Batrider's team. So I actually feel like they should consider swapping lanes with the Invoker and Void.
Yeah, I mean, it'll allow you to have Treant Protector if you need actually be useful, because mid lane is not going to be doing too much, right?
Yeah, no, like Reality Rift, their supports, they cannot help mid lane. Like if they dive this Invoker, I think unless Alliance fuck up their move real bad, I don't think they should even teleport to the mid lane.
So do you like Alliance's lineup more? All things considered equal in terms of skill from the teams?
Yeah, I think it might be too easy for them to punish Reality Rift right now. I think this last pick is pretty good. But I think it's heavily reliant on the lanes. I'm going to say if Reality Rift put Invoker safe lane, they're going to win. If they put a mid, they're going to lose.
Okay.
That's my call.
Very cool. That should spice up the very early laning stage and positioning.
Very cool.
Very cool
like
indeed. So absolutely, this is maybe the first time I've seen Reality Rift without a dispelling hero. So that's
that is true. Yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
actually. Oh, you mean one overall or in their offlane?
Do they have one? Am I crazy?
No, like earlier they also played Centaur on KYXY.
Oh, I just meant overall.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, I think.
And that means Batrider is a hero. When you don't have a hard
He
dispel.
certainly is a hero. Like there's two ways Bat is a hero. Like stage 1, they don't have a hero that lanes against him, and then step 2, they have no lasso break. They have neither. I mean, I guess they have Void, but he ain't going against Bat. Alright, if Limp plays mid lane well, I think it's very hard for Invoker. Especially if Tiny helps out. Yeah.
Alright, don't let me miss the kill mid lane. Okay? That's your job, Kazu.
Alright.
I feel like I'm going to.
I'll be alert. Also, a second reason, if you have a Tiny support, or at least if you're aiming to have a roaming Tiny, offlane heroes that become a lot more viable or better to synergize with the Tiny are ones that, one, they can pressure with Tiny, and at some point they can stay by themselves. And, I mean, Legion can kind of do both. She's a strong laner, and she can stay by herself. Because this will kind of enable the Tiny to, roam around and not feel bad about his offlaner.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I definitely think this Tiny is going to camp mid after a while.
3 heroes down bottom for now for Reality Rift. Is there any way that they try to keep these lanes as is? I guess you can't leave Void, right? I mean, they did leave a safe laner for like a couple minutes. One of the other games, I think it was a Spectre yesterday, and it turned out okay. Not sure if they actually want to how hard they want to pressure Lifestealer.
I don't think they should do it. I mean, one of their ideas could be that they want to try lane bottom to force the Tiny to come bot and stay there, so he has a hard time roaming mid. But I think if Alliance are smart, the Tiny wouldn't go bottom. He will just go mid anyway. So I don't think you should aggro tri lane.
That toss is too good. Nico Baby takes heavy damage as... Okay, it's going to be a 2 for 2 in terms of the bounties. But Lifestealer in lane just, again, feeling so good right now. We'll be going for the Orb of Venom, so that means he's really wanting to pressure these offlaners.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Also, by the time they picked it, it was picked against a double strength lane, but the Sky will stay bottom for now.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to keep in mind for those that aren't super familiar with how Lifestealer has changed versus the old carry. Feast gives more HP regen, I guess you could call it, based on the max HP instead of current, but it does not deal extra damage, so that's the kind of the trade-off. So he's much more sustainable in lane, but he won't be doing nearly as much damage, at least at the start.
I do think, actually, I've played this matchup a few times. The old Nyx, or the previous iteration of Nyx, whatever you want to call it, that one used to be a lot better against, at least against Centaur specifically.
Yes.
Because now he hits less hard, but he hits faster. Which means you deal less damage to Centaur and you probably give him more retaliate stacks, and eventually he will start out CSing you. So I'm still kind of interested to see how this lane goes. But I think both teams should kind of trade farm bottom. I think they'll trade farm top. But I really think the most important part is going to be this mid lane.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how is Batrider so low? What happened mid?
He dragged the entire wave, and he took heavy damage as a result. I'm not sure how it actually started. I just saw him running away with it. So.
Oh damn! I really wish I saw this now. So they didn't lane against each other on the first wave. Is that what you're saying?
No, they did, and then he pulled it for some reason. I'm not sure how or why he did it, but.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, very odd.
Indeed.
But of course, he's going to be spamming this sticky napalm. Big time. A full wand, by the way, on Invoker. Not a huge surprise against the...
Yeah, no, it's very good.
Bot lane, Nico Baby will get first blood against Centaur. I mean, we're talking about the Frost Shield. Alright, that was on me. You did save.
No worries.
You saved me. Cinder never tells me.
You got bottom, I got mid. It's all good.
True. So, not I mean, are you surprised that it's this early that he gets that kill?
Not necessarily. I think... I'm not surprised about the time, I'm surprised how it happened. He just 5-sticked him into Flame Break and then he right-clicked him. It wasn't like even a tower dive. Hope you're looking at mid again, because it might be a little scary.
Yep,
He
Tiny.
barely got out.
Ava into the toss on top of Limp. You're going to see the Ice Wall come into play, and Flame Break as well. Alacrity can't even turn around to get an auto attack. Good lord, 5 stack of Sticking Napalm is more than enough. So he's dead, and I believe he TP'd back, so he's going to have to do the Walk of Shame, as we've seen so many times so far. Limp, level 4, will be good to go.
Courier down.
The Courier will die, as is the sacrifice we've seen so much this tournament. Nuts will be next on the list, and Limp doesn't have a whole lot of mana to speak of, but Hustler is very, very squishy, and with the Avatar... Oh, looks like the tree's actually going to save his life.
Alright, the peep, they can't hear me. Remember when I said if this guy gets dove, you should not teleport?
Yeah.
So not only did Invoker end up dying mid, but now the Centaur died bot. That was a close Sunstrike, if that's what you were looking at.
Yep.
Yeah. Because now both side lanes lost their supports. So while Tiny is roaming, not only are they killing the midder, they're also now indirectly winning the side lanes by luring both the supports mid. So that's not a very good reaction by Reality Rift, at least currently.
Well, they're getting very low in the top lane, so I have to keep an eye on that. But I believe, that Alacrity is probably going to get ganked again. It's level 5 versus level 3 for the time being, so this will be a
He's going to be the prime target for like the next 5 minutes of this game.
Indeed. Toss. And Hanskin will get a haste rune. He just guessed correctly. Very fortuitous for him.
What a baller.
He's a god. Void right now in the top lane, as we are going to transition here just very shortly. Doing pretty well. Overall 21-4 against the 22-1, so it's a trade of sorts. We see Avatos onto KYXY, and he gets a hoof stomp off, but something tells me that he's mega dead. Of course, armor from the tree does help quite a bit. It's going to delay the inevitable, though.
Yeah. You are correct. I mean, for now, Reality Rift mid lane. We have a Flame Break into Firefly into a kill.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Very easy for Limp, as 33 is being forced out of the top lane from Nuts for now.
Yeah, considering how many kills they have on Radiant, they're not really that far ahead, to be honest. So, Reality Rift at this point, they probably feel worse than they should. But obviously we can see that these kills haven't had the biggest effect yet, at least. Even with some, let's say, less than ideal reaction by Reality Rift, all of their cores are actually doing fairly okay.
Avatos again onto Centaur into tower range. He fakes out the hoof stomp to start, but the rage is popped by Nico Baby either way. They might be able to get Handskin. He's going to attempt to TP out, uses the taunt on the way out, but will lose his life. Unfortunately, not able to roll through the trees with that taunt. Sunstrike will hit just the edge, just the tip, as they say.
They're actually just ahead now. That's hilarious.
They also got 3 out of the 4 bounty runes, by the way. So really the main thing to look at right now is top lane. Void continuing to trade with 33. But it's just the mid lane that's the story, right? Like, other than... Everybody else is doing great for Reality Rift, but Limp is super far ahead still.
Like, I think the best thing you can do right now for Invoker to help his game is not by going to his lane, but just by helping him with Sunstrike. Oh, bottom lane.
Yeah, this is such a disgusting combo, actually. I mean,
oh my god, he has Javelin first item on... Oh my god, what the f...
I mean, we've been seeing this boots into Maelstrom. Yeah, we've been seeing it a lot on... I mean, it depends on how well you're farming. Obviously, if you're being contested, but with Lifestealer the way he is now, it feels impossible to contest in a lot of these games.
Yeah, especially with his 2 million attack and move speed.
Yeah, whose idea... I mean, I'm not complaining because I'm a Lifestealer player, but whose idea was to give 30 attack speed talent on top of that? Because without that, he still feels like he's attacking super fast.
Yeah. One thing I was touching on with Invoker, the way you help him right now is not by directly going to his lane, but more so by either forcing heroes away from him and setting up Sunstrikes. So right now, I think one of the Dire supports should aim to run to top, so you help Void with his Chrono, you Sunstrike on top, and you kill this Legion. But I think the timing is a little off right now. They'll have to do it later.
LC's very
because right now, I think, like I said before, there's still... I am surprised that this game is this close in terms of net worth when there's so many more kills, and Invoker's lane was heavily lost against Bad Rider, which is no big surprise.
Heavily lost, but he's only up 400 net worth. That's the crazy part. That's so insane to me.
Yeah, both these cores, the mid and the offlaner in Alacrity and KYXY, they have a lot of devs, but their net worth is still pretty steady. Both in this and the last game. KYXY
has died 4 times. How is he even in the middle of the pack? I don't understand. He's going to die a 5th time potentially here. Guess the hoof stomp, nope. Will be dodged with the rage. There's the Avatos combo. Well, he might not actually die here. There's
He's
plenty of
not dead.
TPs coming in the form of Invoker. Fata is infested right now. We're seeing Lifestealer still healing up inside of him. He's going to have to pop out here in just a moment. We'll go for KY, XY in all likelihood. That'll be... Oh, no! Will actually die before getting that kill. And Centaur lives. But that was a full rotation. And LC decided to stay in the top lane.
I love Centaur's inventory. He just gave away the arcane ring, so he had that also. If he didn't have like all these random small items, he would have died and this counterplay would not be possible.
Right.
But he has double bracer, ring of protection, magic wand, and an arcane ring that hands him some armor mid lane.
Oh, Centaur is gonna open the lasso just in range, and that means Invoker will die yet again. That was actually close. They did not have vision, but he ends up
very
burning.
close.
Top lane 33 has yet to move anywhere else. Are you okay with this? Is that the right move?
I'm okay with it for now.
Oh, never. As I say that, he gets the duel onto Centaur. That's his first duel victory.
Yeah.
Void does not have Chronosphere. We'll be able to time walk in 14 seconds, so they could potentially get something out of this. Treant Protector dying in another lane as the Avalanche into Toss. He's pretty fast, and they will actually get that kill. He had 3 seconds until time walk was up.
Okay, I think now... Invoker is TPing in, but nothing too much should happen here, I guess, in the dire jungle. One thing to note about Bad's items, he has Faded Brooch. I think this item is very good for a tier 1 item, and especially on Bad Rider. Like, he has Windlace, Faded Brooch, he has Travels. He runs at 450 move speed without using Firefly. When he uses Firefly, he's at like 500 move speed, and I think now this is the time where Bad Rider's game begins. Because if there's plays on side lanes, he will go there, and he is so strong right now. Like, he's the most mobile and the strongest hero on the map. And that's a dangerous combo to have to play against.
So, he has Boots of Travel. Do you go drums still?
No, I think drums
overkill.
Are kind of trash right now. Yeah, I don't like drums.
Okay.
I think
so
Yule
just straight to a
is
blink?
decent here. Blink,
okay,
Yule's Blink BKB, something like that.
So with Yule, he will be approaching the max move speed. I mean, well, not quite there.
With
but
Firefly, yeah, he will get
fast.
there when he Fireflies.
33.
Right now, they don't really have the best answers for the Bad Rider, so they have to play around it. Bottom lane, the Centaur is being cocky.
Yeah, there's the duel. It will cancel the channeling, and Lich is going to channel it instead. Do they have any actual... No, they're going to kill Lich, but Alliance still gets that outpost, and here comes the very speedy Bat Rider, bringing the Centaur into his death. And Limp going to continue on. That's a double kill for him. He is having an absolutely amazing game. They get both outposts as a result. The play from Legion was just brilliant. You wait till the last second and then duel. Very nicely played.
Yeah, no, that was very well done. They're using the heroes. Oh, top lane, some stuff's going on.
Yeah, they will get a support kill, it looks like. And Invoker will get credit
nice
for it.
Nice Sunstrike. Alright, so right now, this Bad Rider, he is owning. He is very high level and he has a kill streak. So if you're dire, if you can somehow find a play that looks natural to you, where maybe you go, you take Sky ulti, you smoked Void and Sky onto the Bad Rider, and you let your Invoker kill him with Sunstrike. The game will look a lot different if they do manage to make that play. It's not the easiest task, but it should be something that, you know, they should have on their mind right now to try and figure out how to make this play.
It's so weird that, you know, when you last pick a Broodmother, an Arc Warden, there's certain, like Meepo, it just feels like it changes the complexion of the game, right? I can't remember the last time that a Bat Rider last pick has had that same feeling for me, because they have 0 counters for it. Everything that comes in terms of countering, it has to come through items, which won't be coming for quite a while, and he is off to an amazing start.
No, it's a very niche pick. It's actually my most played hero too, so I can see that. Oh, top lane. Oh, they're gonna run into Lich first. They would really want to get the bat here.
Oh, they're gonna have the Chronosphere available. Here comes the Sunstrike combo into the Mystic Flare. Still not quite enough to take him out, but he is gonna get slowed and eventually brought down.
That's big. That's big. They actually did the exact play. Sadly, the execution wasn't fully there, since they, unluckily for them, ran into a Lich. So Sky was a bit late on dropping his spells, but it was a great play. They killed Bat. That's a lot of XP, a lot of gold for Void. Well, now he's the one that's more happy, so... Everything going according to plan, to some degree.
I mean, this game net worth-wise is super even.
Yeah, certainly.
And it's a 15-8 advantage for Alliance. Kills don't matter anymore.
I like this game.
It's all about the outposts.
Very exciting. All these, everyone's just running around using their spells, killing each other. This is what I live for.
It is fun to watch. Actually, I should say Alliance got both, right? Yeah, they got both Alpha boats. So even after all of that and losing mid horribly, Reality Rift has stabilized somehow.
What is the XP lead? How do I pull this up?
It's one of the F keys. Don't alt F4 though. Be careful with that. Very.
Oh, okay, I found.
Very careful. Legion Commander has
3K
a
XP
hood.
leads. Oh.
Yeah, I wish there was a toggle to show the XP instead of the gold at the top here. That would be a good quality of life. Limp, he sees nuts. Only level 5, so no overgrowth to work with. But it's still very annoying. You can just walk through these trees.
Oh, it's definitely doing the right thing. And instead of them defending their own tier 1 safe lane, they look to go for the enemy tier 1 mid. Bad Rider is TPing in though.
Yeah, he sure is. He's very quick, and he does see Invoker. Is slowed temporarily, but the lasso should be more than enough to actually get the kill. And Lifestealer pops out, says surprise, and there is the duel. Do they have enough to actually take out Faceless Void before the time walk? And indeed they do. So a 2 for nothing, as Limp is just controlling the pace of this game right now. We'll be going for the Blink Dagger.
Yeah,
and that's when it gets really scary, because then you can have the infested Lifestealer on top.
Yeah. No, right now it's somewhat of a natural response. If you don't defend your mid safe lane tower, usually the next best play you have is to run at the enemy mid tower. But realistically, given the state of this game, I don't think they're strong enough to go there and then stay to take the fight. Like, this Bad Rider is a monster. Your Void didn't have Chronosphere ready. And unluckily for them, I think their Stampede was just a second late. It would maybe have allowed the Invoker to disengage. But some nice CPs by Alliance, and they just kind of punish Reality Rift for their positioning there.
And Lifestealer right now, top of the net worth, along with the Bat Rider, closely behind.
Oh boy, yeah, he's very big. My god.
And he does officially have the Blink Dagger now, so expect maybe a smoke reveal, I would assume. But not going for that as of yet.
Yeah, very likely. I'm not even sure if Alliance have used a smoke this game. I don't think so. So they're probably holding on to like 3-ish smokes at the moment. Bounty runes are spawning.
And with the initiation from Bat Rider, it's really nice for 33, who can just build kind of this tanky, aura-driven LC.
Yeah, that's really nice. He doesn't actually have to go blink. He has some pretty free itemization choice in this game. Which is very nice. I'm surprised he's going Vanguard. I think Pipe Rush is very strong this game.
Yeah, Vanguard is interesting. I mean, the physical damage from Void and
he must build it into a Crimson then later on, which is that's interesting, because I certainly wouldn't do that. So maybe a thing to learn this game. We'll have to see how it works out.
Well, Philosopher's Stone, that's a Lich item. Get ready, Lich, to get huge. Get buffed, Fata.
You're gonna get big, brother.
Hell yeah. The hood. Sorry, the pipe is on the way right now to KYXY, so they finished theirs first. We'll be going for the Blink Dagger next, so not prioritizing initiation as of yet.
Mm-hmm. Tiny is very close to his Blink right now.
Indeed. That's actually pretty surprising. Heroes just get so much more farm than they used to. It's hard to get used to, honestly. Top lane, we have the Bat Rider. Very easy kill on the Treant Protector.
Yeah, Bad Rider kind of abuses Treant as a hero at most stages of the game. If you're not careful... Oh, bottom lane, they're making a play on Tiny.
Even if they get him, he just bought his Blink Dagger, so all money has been expended. Of course, they do not know that, but KYXY will get out, and Skywrath will not. And it's a dual victory, so that was definitely not worth it in the end.
Yeah. Oh, you could maybe argue because they TP'd all heroes, but yeah, was it a level 2 duel? Yeah, no, that's a good amount of damage. Also, they could have killed the Centaur, but I think they were kind of tunnel visioning on the Skywrath for a bit. But anyway, they get a turn kill, and as you said, Tiny did spend his gold, so he has his Blink regardless once they spawn. And they're probably just gonna look for a team move now when the Radiant respawn. They have 2 Blink Daggers, they will have most of their spells ready. They also have a Halberd on the Snakes.
That's nice.
He's very strong right now.
Yeah, I mean, the build, we talked about this the other day, but it's just super cookie cutter for now. Maelstrom into Halberd into Mjolnir every single game. And then after that, it's Abyssal, like literally every time. That's just super strong. What do you think? What are your thoughts on? I don't really get to see that much Invoker in terms of just being a core hero, but straight up the Aghanim Scepter. So it gives you, as far as I know, it's just Cataclysm, right?
Yeah, right. It's not the old Ags. I guess it's really good with the heroes he's playing with Void and the Centaur. I guess Treant as well.
Yeah, they definitely
I haven't
have a lot
seen
of
too many Invokers. The few Invokers I have seen, I think Miracle did play it a couple weeks ago, maybe, or maybe in the minor. He did buy Ags, so I assume it should be okay.
Fata
Bottom lane.
He's gonna find
Good
Faceless
old
Void, or is it the other way around? But here comes the Nake's Bomb into the Cataclysm, just picked up. Not doing that much damage, but the Nakes does die. And Tiny looks to be next on the list, as he will be chased down very shortly here, as the Lich Ult is actually helping him out quite a bit. That move speed slow will save his life.
Hold up, did Nakes die from... No, wait, how did he die? He was raged, right?
It must have been the Cataclysm. I didn't see how much damage.
It
That's
can't
pure
kill
damage.
him by itself, right?
I mean, if he's on 3, it's possible.
It's like,
they're random,
like
right?
two times 500. Wait, it's only 2, right? Or I guess there was the Bad Riders one. They were stacked up. Maybe he was hit by 3, man. I don't know. That looked
insane.
weird. I'm gonna like.
That's a perfect opportunity to look at an instant.
That's a good reveal.
Yeah, that's true. And there's the Blink Dagger now on the Centaur. So, despite this hot start for Alliance, they have definitely taken a back seat in the last couple fights.
Yep, indeed.
But yeah, just to echo what you were saying, when the Ags was first changed, a lot of the Invokers were doing that, just going straight up Ags, and I didn't really understand why.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it super recently, so I don't know if things have changed, but it looks like that's not the case.
I guess when you have setup, then you can do it. But just randomly buying it for no reason, that's probably not the smartest.
We're going to have the Atos on top of Fata. Wow, easy kill. Avalanche is not going to do a whole lot. Overwhelming odds to follow. Seeing the buyback onto the Lich, actually. And here comes Cataclysm again. Void, very low. Can he get the time walk off? No, he will die just at the last moment. Does have buyback, but he's super far away from the fight. Lifestealer silenced up right now. Has to be really careful. But there's a PTA again, and Invoker looks to be super dead, although he gets the beautiful disarm. Will eventually fall. They dove
you want to know one funny thing about this part, which didn't matter much, but it's hilarious? So Lich died at the start of the fight, right?
Yeah.
Then he bought back and Cataclysm was used, and he died while TPing out of base in base.
What? Are you kidding me?
Like, if you click on his icon, it goes to the enemy fountain. So he died.
My god! So he in the middle of TP because you're not gonna want to move.
At least I'm 99% sure that's what happened. So that's pretty funny.
I mean, what else would have happened?
I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, this Cataclysm is doing some funny stuff this game.
If you guys want to be top of Reddit, you might want to go into the replay after this game and actually catch that, because that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. So one important thing I wanted to point out earlier. So first, 33 wanted to go for the Vanguard. I was thinking that maybe Pipe is better, but at some point, one of their players pinged out Roshan. But I think they then realized that, I mean, their Rosh isn't really that good. They don't really have any natural Roshan killer. Also, Nakes as a hero, you don't really build Desolate on him anymore. So they ended up going for Solar Crest on Legion, which is not only good for Nakes in the game, and you know, it's really good to kill heroes such as Centaur because they're high HP, low armor. But if they win a fight now with Alliance, they can actually threaten Roche simply because they have the Solar Crest. So I'm gonna be interested to see how it turns out for them if they do get Roche simply because of this item choice.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone for sure. I mean, Lifesteal right now is just huge. He's still, after that fight, of course, just 2k advantage over everybody else in the game. And it's only going to get worse from here because he does have the full Mjolnir now, along with the Halberd. And again, like we said, we'll be going for Abyssal Blade.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's where I think he hits his peak, and then he falls off a little bit, especially against the Void, because Void can definitely man-fight him when it gets to actual late game.
Yeah. I really like Lim's item choice this game. I think it's perfect items. BKB is great here on Batrider. He can play so aggressive now. Like, I don't see how he dies unless he's made
He's doing it right on top of Faceless Void. Here comes the Cataclysm to follow. Faceless Void's getting extremely low. He will go down. Had about a millisecond to use that Q, but just not enough time. But Invoker looks to be next on the list. It's a 2-for-1. Lifestealer did die, surprisingly enough. KYXY already have used Stampede, so it looks like he will be the third member of Reality Rift to drop to the deck here. And use Avatos to actually finish him off.
Yeah, really good fight. Oh, wait, what?
Okay, that was a... I have no idea how he died.
That's weird.
Literally no idea.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I also don't know how Nake's died. This Cataclysm, I think, is doing a lot of work to this Nake's hero. So maybe when you see the Cataclysm, maybe you need to like move to the side for like 1-2 seconds, unless there's literally only these beams around you. Because I think realistically, if there's no Chrono, or he doesn't get engaged on by Sense Stun or Silence, I think he shouldn't be able to die at the start of the fight at least.
Right. Because again, it's pure damage. It's going to go through that rage.
Yeah,
but
exactly. But Alliance they're taking fights really well right now. They're playing it really well.
No doubt. They're playing extremely well. 7k advantage right now. Well, now 6.
Yeah.
But being grouped up like that against Cataclysm can have some horrific consequences.
Yeah. It's just this Bad Rider is causing a lot of problems. Like with this Infest, if they start on Void, I think they will get the Void nearly every time, unless Dire are really clutch. Like if this Centaur is super ready with Blink Stun, then maybe they get to save him in one way or the other. But ideally, they should try to not have Void be initiated on, which is, I mean, it's not easy when you're pushing a tower, but they should try to be more aware.
The Lincolns is going to essentially ensure that he can't be.
Yeah, certainly.
Which is what he's going for next. Lifestealer, by the way, changing his build based on his last 2 deaths from Cataclysm.
Oh boy.
Unfortunately for him, going off of the Abyssal. Even though Abyssal gives HP thanks to the Vanguard, but wants to go super beefy with the Heart.
Oh, Radiant have a really good ward for this smoke. They have a ward in their own jungle that sees like 3 heroes right now.
See if they can actually get the initiation off before Void actually gets this Lincoln Sphere. Still a little bit of ways away. 33 is
Void is
to
by
his
far
block
the best target. So if they can get Void, they will go for it every time. Most certainly.
He's kind of been in front a lot of these fights as well. So I think playing passive now, kind of learning from his mistakes.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't see the enemies. But one way to counter this as well, we talked about the last series, Centaur now going for the Aghanim Scepter. So if somebody does get caught off guard with Limp's initiation, they can at least counter that to some degree. And here it is. They're going to settle for the Centaur. Obviously not their first choice. In fact, they're not even going to get it.
Nope, they realize that this kill is not easy at all, actually, even if they drag him away. Anyway, Alliance, they're trying to play really nicely around their wards. Like first they do the smoke bottom, because they have a ward here. And now they ran back to their vision here, because they had a ward on this high ground. But, I mean, they just realized pretty quickly, nope, we're not doing this, like, get out. Enemy team was coming, Void will get a good chrono, so certainly the right choice to not end up committing for that play.
Man, there are a lot of Blink Daggers in this game. I'm going to take a moment to count them.
Oh, really?
Let's see what we got. We have one on Tiny, one about to be picked up on LC, one on Bat Rider.
5.
We have Treant, Protector, and Invoker.
Now we have 6.
And Centaur. So 6 of the 10 heroes. 60% chance to have a Blink Dagger this game.
Damn. Maths. Quick
and
maths.
And when we get to 70 minutes, it's going to turn one of those into a Fallen Sky, of course.
Oh my god, I want to see that. I swear. That has to be... By the way, did you know it doesn't share cooldown with Blink Dagger? Like, you can have that and Blink.
Oh, I did not know that.
I tested that right away. It's hilarious.
that
so
is
you
incredible.
Blink Meteor on a tower with that stupid Fallen item, Fallen Sky, and then you just blink out. Boom.
I mean, I think the thing that... I mean, again, the tier 5 items, they're supposed to be broken, right? And I think the reason that Fallen Sky is broken... I mean, just the effect and all that is great, but the fact that you can blink while taking damage is what makes it broken, in my opinion.
All right, you can do that too. I mean, I guess the items can be quote-unquote broken, but I think there should be a limit on it. Because that thing I saw earlier today with this Apex and Fusion route, my god, don't get me started, man.
I like the idea of tier 5 items because at the 70-minute mark, it's just Ice Frog saying, dude, get this shit over with, honestly.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get out of here.
It is a game ender.
It is.
It's just, I think some of them need to be balanced to be like within each other, right? I don't like it when...
Oh my god, did you look at bottom?
Just miss him. Yeah, his...
Dude, if he did... I don't know if he blinked here on purpose, but if he blinked one step higher up, he would have died. He would be in the sentry range. Oh my god.
Looks like he's also going to Lincoln's because that's something he is very scared of.
Yeah, I think he does need it. I don't blame them. Usually I don't like when people pick up Lincoln's. Top lane. Bye-bye.
We have the Avatos into the duel. And they finally counter this ward in the bottom lane. So
That's a Speedy Gonzalez Legion with booty legs.
Yeah, and he has Blink as well.
Skyref too.
Crest. So do you like the idea of him going Hood and not upgrading the pipe? He's going to be going BKB, so this is a bit of a selfish build. I thought he was going to go the auras.
I think it's okay. I think he intended on going auras, but he decided otherwise, like midway through. I think they felt like, at first he was like, okay, I'm going to go Hood into pipe so we can fight. But then they were kind of winning, so he was like, okay, I'm going to take it a step further. I'll build this medallion or crest so we can take Roche. At least I think that was his thought process, that they're ahead and they don't need the pipe to win fights. And it will just, speed up their Roshan. But I mean, they haven't taken Roshan until now, so I'm not sure. But I do think his item build is fine. His Bad Rider has BKB. He won't use pipe that well, really. And I mean, his snakes kind of dies to Cataclysm, I think, and nothing else. So I think pipe doesn't get used by his core so well. Yeah, for now.
I mean, Void is starting to get up there. Of course, went for the semi-defense, well, not semi, but big-time defense in Lincoln's, and we'll be going for Manta as well. So ultra-defensive, actually.
I think the item build on Legion is just purely... he's adjusting to the game as it goes, I think. So I think it's totally fine.
Is there still that issue with Manta and Void Chronosphere where sometimes it just, kind of blocks you for a bit? Or is it more seamless, do you know?
I'm not aware of this, so I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah.
I think you all kind of... Don't you have, unit walking? I think you have unit walking in Chrono. I don't remember.
Well, either way,
I don't recall being blocked.
If you can do it in quick succession inside Chronosphere, the damage is huge. That's another great Manta-style hero in the right situation.
True that. True indeed.
And it's also good against... if you see the lasso coming, though it's kind of hard to do that with that kind of range, but to just screw them up just a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely good. If you're on top of your game, you can definitely get it done, and it can ruin the Bad Riders fight. Outpost was a 1-for-1 trade.
Yep.
Bounties are being taken. There is a DD top, so it might swing one team into wanting to Roche, or maybe to take a fight. Let's see. Radiant have a ward on it that Dire do not, so Dire are not aware that there's a DD. Radiant are pinging it.
Go to the Lifestealer. He will rage.
It's bottled, so unless the Nax shows... one important thing to note, you cannot use DD and then infest. Your DD will get purged. So it's really smart that they bottle it on him. This way he could infest, jump out, and then use it.
I did not know that. It
it's a weird interaction. Yeah, you dispel yourself, even from positive buffs or whatever.
Dispel type, basic dispel. But I feel like other dispels do not work that way anymore. So it's just this one, right?
I don't know why you dispel yourself. It's weird. Why you dispel positive things off of yourself.
Right. I mean, that's an old thing that was when Dota 2 first came out. It was always like that, right? You use yourself, you get rid of your positive buffs. They ended up getting rid of that. So weird.
Dire they saw Legion. They see Legion on their ward up top, and they see he's crested, which indicates 100% that Radiant are doing Roche.
Right.
Therefore, Dire are coming. They're smoked up. Let's see how
they are coming. Roshan's not going down that fast. Here's Centaur. Hoof Stomp will not... Well, I guess it does connect. They take out the Lich very quickly. Lifestealer. He does have the double damage. Oh, the Chronosphere onto nothing. Uh-oh. Avatos now. And the buyback onto Lich, who still has his ultimate. And there is the initiation onto Faceless Void into the channel from Lich. And it's going to be enough to take him out. He does have buyback, but of course, his big ulti has already been expended. And I think Reality Rift is just going to have to give up this Roche now.
My god, well played.
Okay, Sunstrike.
He was fighting a spirit.
Apparently.
So he got him.
He got him. Actually, a refresher next on. This is a very early refresher for Invoker. Holy jeez.
Oh,
what did I miss? Alright, Treant Protector randomly dies in the bottom rune area.
So Roshan should go to Radiant here. I don't see how Dire contest this, and yeah, they're obviously very far away. So refresher. So they are banking on Drew hitting his next chrono, and then
that's a lot of pressure.
Double Cataclysm or a good hoof stomp. What do you know?
That is a lot of pressure.
Invoker is definitely one of the heroes where I have seen earlier refreshers being bought, like 3rd, 4th item-ish. I mean, this is kind of weird because this is like, I mean, 2nd and a half, 3rd item, because Blink is like really cheap. But I guess with Cataclysm and kind of, I guess they just lack damage to like kill them. Like now a good Chrono or a good Hoofstomp is simply enough to win the fight.
Yeah.
I say simple, but you know.
Well, they might have seen the heart from Lifestealer as well. And like, yeah, I think they just don't have enough damage.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, Void's build, it's not exactly full DPS, right? That's kind of the issue right now, but... And he's still dying. That's the unfortunate thing for him. So it's like, you might as well have gone DPS.
I think it's still okay, because he has some decent neutral items, and I mean, he deals good damage in Chrono. Also, he's probably going to be a Alacrity, and he has people that pump damage into Chrono. I just think the biggest problem is, I mean, you're not supposed to miss Chrono, right? But shit happens, they missed it, and next fight should be better for them. Especially now with the Invoker refresher.
Did they have vision on the high ground, or was that like he just saw them run up, so he assumed they'd be there?
They saw them back off, and he just took a chance. They don't have vision on them. They only have
high risk, high reward.
Yeah. But sadly, negative reward.
Yes, very negative in that particular fight. So 5k lead right now for Alliance. So Stampede. All right, is that the Ag Stampede by any chance? It is. So that's not much damage being done to Invoker, despite being initiated on by Limp. So that's exactly what we were talking about. The uses of that. Global mitigation is good stuff. Hanskin's starting to get a little farm now as well, working towards an AC.
Closing in on an AC, which I think is a great item for them. Certainly can't go wrong with that one. I hope Invoker keeps up some good positioning, because I mean, he's obviously taking a risk, right? His refresher could be a Linken's, but he decides that they need a more aggressive approach. So therefore he has to adjust his positioning. I like it too. He just has to make sure that he uses it properly, aka he cannot die first. If he dies first, he's like kind of throwing the game. But I think ideally, and how it's gonna go, he will stay alive, and his spells are gonna dish out some serious damage.
I think with Stampede, you feel a lot safer though, right? So
that is true.
I like it. Abyssal Blade will be next for Nico Baby, so the heart was just a slight detour in the regular build for Lifestealer.
Yeah.
And Void still has not finished his Manta. 100 away from finishing that. I guess he's not going to have buyback unless he... Does he buy this now? He's actually getting a tome.
I think he should buy it. I think usually on your +1 heroes aren't really the ones to save buyback. I think unless you're like being threatened to maybe be pushed in your base and stuff like that. Or maybe there's a Roche fight. They should use their gold to increase their farm or just increase their chance of surviving the next fight.
Now this tier 2 tower is super dead. Nico Baby, very, very, very tanky.
AC is completed. They have AC Solar Crest for him, so
yeah,
I don't see them stopping this for now. They're not showing any intention of stopping.
Yeah, Reality Rift was pushing bot, but they're going to be TPing back very shortly.
Repair kit, brother.
Here they come. Yeah, there it is. Every game it feels like. Not faking the overgrowth. Actually doesn't have any mana right now to use it. Now he does. More repair kits, or is that the same one? It's hard to tell.
That's the same one.
All right,
it's the same one with 3 armor.
Two charges still. Excellent. There's a hoof stomp. That's a lot of damage. Sunstrike to fall is not really going to connect, and Tree is dead. He will buy back into the game. And finally, the tower will drop. That's actually a good EMP. Nico Baby completely out of mana now.
Certainly, yeah. Their items...
They have a repair kit as well, by the way. Just in case.
Radiant too? Yeah. Oh, that's... my god. I mean, that item definitely...
Do you use it here, by the way? Just to heal?
Who? Radiant or
Limp
Dire?
on bottom. This tier 3 tower.
No, I think you hold it. I mean, it's a hard choice, but I don't really see Dire going here and killing it soon. As long as Alliance are aware of the lanes and what's happening. If it was lower, I would heal it. I feel like it's at a critical point where you can keep it this way. And maybe take a fight or whatever, or do it later.
Well, speaking of taking a fight, yeah, Reality Rift really wants to do this.
Yellow pinged middle, which means I assume that 3-3 had his camera mid, and one of the Dire heroes used a spell to push out the lane.
Nico Baby
anyway,
still
they get to play some. They get to play some good wards. That's
Nico
why they
Baby
smoked
now
out.
with no Aegis.
Yeah, they were trying to time the Aegis.
He does not have
Fading.
buyback right now. I mean, which team are you more scared of in terms of just getting team wipe and pushing? Like the pushing potential from each respective team.
Well, I actually have both crazy pushing potential. Like this Radiant team, when this Nakes hits a tower, he hits it really hard. They have AC, Crest, Dire, they have Alacrity and Centaur tanking and like using Retaliate. So I think both teams need to be kind of careful. But Lich is not dead.
Quite. He gets off that Glimmer Cape, KYXY. Still has Stampede to work with, but nothing's going to come of this fight.
I wanted to say that both teams have repair kits, so
yeah, you don't have
maybe
to worry
the
about
pushing
that.
won't be that heavy.
Now, Lifestealer, he can buy Abyssal right now if he wants, but will not have
I think
buyback.
he will. I think he will buy it. I
Just
think
going to go to this
without buyback.
secret shop then.
I think
You
he's
have a little
too
vision.
hard to kill. Like when you're this hard to kill, I think you shouldn't really save for buyback because ideally, I think if you're playing properly, you're not supposed to die. So just build aggressively.
And he is now level 24. At 25, most people go for the rage duration, right? Have you seen the Feast lifesteal?
I have not. No, it
It goes
doesn't
from
sound.
3
I guess
to
it's wrong.
4.5. It's like 4
Yes.
extra levels, right?
That's a 50% increase. That's pretty big. Yeah. That's like 4 levels. Yeah, that's a lot.
But 2 seconds of rage. Whoop! There it is. The Chronosphere into the Mystic Flare and the Cataclysm. Do they actually have enough damage? It's going to be close. Finally gets taken down. There's no buyback like we just talked about because he picked up the Abyssal Blade, which he never got to use. Lich is next on the list. A pretty good chain frost, but they're going to shrug it off. And that's 2 kills.
Alright, lesson learned, maybe. Maybe you don't think you're unkillable. Maybe you don't listen to stupid caster Kezu.
That refresher, man. I mean, that's...
Yeah, this...
Even with that,
I mean, does he
damage.
expect to die there? He has 4k HP. Probably not, but where was his team? I mean, another way to look at it, perhaps he shouldn't be here in this position, 2 on 5.
I mean, they don't really have a save, right? It's not like they have
Yeah.
Avenge or something like that.
Yeah. Like, if they're together and they get to, like, use Crest on him and maybe the heal, and maybe they lasso hero, AC aura, then it's okay. But anyway, nice play by Dire, showcasing this refresher.
Yeah, of course, they don't know that he doesn't have buyback, but if they did, they would go hardcore aggressive on this. They're going to play this... I mean, they're going to continue to push for sure and wait for some potential buybacks. Just kind of a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah.
Fortifications up. There is the... Oh, not yet. Where's that repair kit? I'm sure it's coming soon.
Who's holding
That's
it?
what they actually want to
Lich,
get right
maybe.
now. Lich
Not
does
bad
not
for
have it.
us.
There's the lasso
Centaur.
onto the Centaur. Into the duel, so no Stampede for you. Of course, no buyback, though. They see that Lifestealer is still... Well, he's coming up in 8 seconds, so you kind of got it back now.
They were heavily respecting buybacks there.
Yeah.
I think, at least I think they were communicating that they have buybacks because I think half the teams would have helped the Centaur and maybe jumped in with Void, but as soon as the lasso came, the entire team backed out. I think they were just very ready for a potential buyback to come, so they just decided it's the safer play to just disengage.
Yep, I mean, it's understandable. We have all the information.
Yep, they do not. Also,
Like,
Roshan
there's
is on the
no
menu
way
soon.
he bought Abyssal without having buyback, right? There's
Yeah,
no
right.
way.
Duh.
he
He's
going-
hold up. He's
double heart?
He's queuing another heart.
There's no way, right? Don't you just go Scotty in this case?
Or Satanic.
Satanic with the...
I don't,
I mean,
that's
stats
he
doesn't
just want
matter.
he just wants straight up HP to live through this combo, I guess. I guess. I mean, if that's his reasoning, then hard makes the most sense.
I mean,
I don't know
Havoc
if it's
Hammer's
the
not
best,
bad.
but-
I mean, it's 18 strength, and you get a little bit
Yeah,
of a... Like, if you
that
can
helps.
survive Chronosphere, then the active is pretty good.
Oh, they have Alliance have a really good ward on them.
Oh, we're going to see the jump in, and they cancel the Lincoln Sphere. Nico, Baby, and company. And the Abyssal is
Well
used
done.
as well, so Void is just dead. Buyback onto the Centaur now. I believe he used Stampede, but Void still died. Now we have a duel into the Cataclysm.
Oh boy.
And Tree will die, but no dual damage for 33, who's sitting on 126
That's a
right now.
huge turnaround. I am not sure how fast the Centaur bought back there, or if he would have saved the Void. Regardless, that was a very nicely played play by Alliance to get all these kills, especially the Void one.
Yeah, I just noticed that he had used it after the fact. I don't know if it actually happened during, but either way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was his intention at least.
Indeed.
But I didn't quite see how it went.
And even if you don't know if they have buybacks right now, on the Void at least, you know he has Chronosphere, but you're so tanky that maybe you play this more aggressively than Reality Rift just did. Actually, exactly doing that. Abyssal Blade onto Invoker. He's just going to Ghost Walk into the fountain. There's the duel onto Centaur. Don't think they're going to find the duel damage, but they will find the kill regardless. And the Invoker shortly after will die. He buys back into the game immediately. And this tier 3 tower is now in peril. In mid lane, in the meantime, Tiny, the support hero, has now become a one-man wrecking crew on these buildings.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Crest him. There we go. And
there
healing.
it is. Very nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty good talent.
A support hero just took your racks, bruh.
Yeah, he's not stopping after the first one.
Yeah, Lifestealer going for the bottom, and now Tiny towards the top. He'll probably just
Well,
get
they
this
know that
melee and run away.
They know that Centaur diebacked.
Here we go. There's the Void. Chronosphere. Cataclysm 1. Did he not cast the second one? I'm not sure.
He did.
Might have been on cooldown from the first one, I guess. But either way, the Invoker will die. And this looks to be Alliance's game to take for game 1 of this best of 3. As I hear a duel, it was successful this time for 33. And GG's are called. So game 1 of this best of 3 to Alliance.
This game took a quick turn.
Yeah.
I mean, Alliance were in the driver's seat for the most part. But in the time span of, what, 2.5 minutes, it went from kinda even to over.
Yeah, for sure. It was entertaining, though. I enjoyed the... I mean, again, we talked about how Void, in theory, counters Lifestealer. But you do need the items, and they just didn't really have enough... I mean, even if they killed the Lifestealer, as we saw, it just takes everything, and then you have nothing left.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the issue. But yeah, pretty nice win for Alliance. It was around like the 30-minute mark they started to, or I guess the 25-minute mark, they started to create a little bit of distance between them and Reality Rift.
Alliance played really well, especially in some very specific fights, like the way they engaged. They used the heroes very well. And also Limp, I think, player of this game. He is the last pick. He is the last pick hero, and his hero is very strong, but still, I think he played his hero very well. He itemized properly, and overall Alliance, I think they played pretty well.
If they didn't get off to a good start, then this could have been a way different game, right?
Oh, certainly, yeah, for sure.
Limp definitely.
They need to be ahead with their heroes.
Indeed. Okay, so that's game 1, guys, of this best of 3. The winner of this will go on to the upper bracket of the main event, and loser goes to the best of 1s with Virtus Pro, who was the first to go to the lower bracket in this group. So stay tuned. Game 2 coming up next.